Hi guys. I wanted to talk about a subject that seems to be pretty controversial right now in the comic book community called Comicsgate. And from what I can gather of Comicsgate, it's, and I'm paraphrasing here, it's where people believe that social, political, and even sexual orientations are like forced down people's throats. There's a leftist agenda to it, and I don't know what to say about that per se. I mean, I could say that comic books are, or anything that you are a part of in life can be social, political, or even religious or whatever. And I've been a comic book fan since since I guess 10 years old, since I was 10 or something like that, 9 or 10 years old. And honestly, I love comics. I still love comics to this very day. I love comic books. I just left a comic book shop. As a matter of fact, I bought some books. I bought some books that I was interested in this month. Not this month, but this week. And let me show you. It's sorry, I'm shaking the camera, but I'm holding it, so it's on my phone. But so far, I picked up this copy of Venom #1, First Host, which is done by Mark Bagley and Mike Costa. And another one I picked up that I've been waiting for a long time, but I thought it was like a continuation, but it's not. It's a re-release. Scarlet #1 by Brian Michael Bendis. And I'm sorry, I'm holding this wrong. I'm holding it wrong, sorry. But it's written by Brian Michael Bendis and drawn by Alex Maleev. I hope I got his name right. Well, Scarlet, sorry, is pretty much. I guess you could say Scarlet's pretty much a book with a lot of social commentary. I guess you could say SJW or whatever, but actually, it's one of my favorite books. And I've never really, I don't want to go too far on a rant on this book here, but I've been a fan of Brian Michael Bendis for quite a while, and I will admit that his only issue is, no pun intended, his only issue is he can be too wordy. He's more into like he's heavy into dialogue, which I don't have a problem with, but you hardly ever see much action from him in his stories. But anyway, I think his series is very good. I love his series. I'm not a really big fan I'm not the biggest fan of the art, but hey, I've bought books before with bad art, good story, so hey, what the hell. Anyway, going back to Comicsgate. There are writers and there are artists that I honestly I am not a big fan of, personally. Let's take, for example, Frank Miller. Frank Miller has gone, from what I've heard and what I've heard about him, he's gone off to the far right, and his views, I guess you could say almost skewed towards being on the level of Alex Jones, to bring his name up again, but you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, the problem I have with it is, look, I love Frank Miller. I love Frank Miller ever since I've got his Daredevil work, his Wolverine miniseries, which I had, by the way, the first, well, not the other 3 issues, but at the first issue. But that was pretty iconic in and of itself. I loved early Frank Miller work. I don't really care too much for his Sin City 300 right now. Hang on. I don't care much for Frank Miller's Sin City 300 series. I don't care Well, I kind of like his. Well, no, I like his. Well, I got those mixed up. I kind of like his Sin City book, but not too much. But my point of the matter is, these guys have gone like guys like Miller have gone off to the far right, and he's had some issues with creators himself. And when you look at guys like a Mark Waid, or you look at any other creators, good creators that have been accused of going full SJW. Let's look at those people for a minute. Let's look at Frank Miller, because we need to go there for the Frank Miller types. Anybody that tells me that Frank Miller having wild political, religious, or whatever social views is okay and he's still well loved, yeah, that's pretty. I can't understand that. Let's take another one. Ethan Van Sciver. I love Ethan Van Sciver's artwork, but that's all that I love from him. I don't care about his political beliefs. I don't care about his religious beliefs. I don't care about any of that. Since we're going to talk about SJWs and Comicsgate and all that stuff, let's have them keep their political and social views out of comics, because it just doesn't make. And I wanted to do this, and I hope I can do this right. I've wanted to say this, and I hope I'm trying to get this correct. But to be quite fair, if you want to say things negative about the likes of a Mark Waid or G. Willow Wilson, okay, that's your right. That's your total right. But guess what? People don't have to respect the likes of Frank Miller. People don't, because if his views are way out there, then guess what? Nobody has to respect those either. Now they can love the work, as I do. I love his early work. I'll still love his early work. But that's all that I love. I don't care about his views. I could care less. When the new Dark Knight Return series came out, I guess like last year, I wasn't that interested in it. I wasn't. And his art has changed. To me, Miller's art has changed for the worst. I can't stand Frank Miller's art. I don't know if he fell off or whatever, but that's beside the point. My point is, people should have the right to love whatever they want to love as far as comic books. They should have that right. Now I'm a big supporter on the quality of work. I don't care if you're from the left or the right politically or socially. I don't care. But if your art is horrible, if your writing is horrible, chances are I'm not picking up your book. I really don't care. I could care less. I don't give a damn. Now, here's another thing I'm also going to say. Comic books are for everybody. Comic books are for everybody. I'm a black man that was started out as a black kid reading comics. I still read comic books today. I still collect comic books today. Comic books should be for everybody. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're Asian. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're whatever. The point of the matter is, it's all inclusive. Forgive me, again. But anyway, it's for everybody. It's not just for straight white males, although, hey, that's where it kind of leans to, but still, comic books, that's what it leans to as far as like characters and creators in the books and everything. But the fact of the matter is, comic books should be for everybody. Now, let's take another creator that I really love, and I could, that happens to be on the left. Phil Jimenez. Phil Jimenez is an openly gay comic book artist. Yeah, he's an openly gay comic book artist who is very successful, and I love his work. I don't own all of his work, but I love it. I do. I collect. I try to get as much as I can, and he's one of the guys. He's one of the guys who helped make Wonder Woman even more successful. He started on the neck. His run, to me, not Frank. I don't mean Frank Miller. Phil Jimenez's run, to me, rivals that of George Perez, another person of color. But the thing about it is, like I said, Phil Jimenez is openly gay. I don't care either way. The guy is very talented, and the quality of his work is top notch. I don't care about what the preference is, what your preference is. I don't care what your race is. I don't even care if you're feminist. The only thing I care about is the quality of your work. Now, I've rambled on and everything. Like I said before, I don't use the script. I don't go by the script or anything. I don't have any. These are my only talking points. But I hope you can understand that this is what I've meant, and this is what I hope more and more people will see. Let's get off this left-right bullshit. Let's get off of that, because we don't need to make this a conservative issue. We don't need to make this a liberal issue. We just need to make this an issue of quality. If the quality is not there, then guess what? We need to call out the creators who that are low in quality. But if you want to call out people's political, social, and religious beliefs, hey, that's the more the merrier. Just do it on both sides. Thanks.